Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You've reached the Boho Info News and Talk Show. And today we're going to be talking about what? Watching the water. Because what? We're stationed here in Florida, and what? Well, we got a storm coming in. Yep, we got a storm coming in. So stay tuned. We're going to be talking about that and the updates of everything that's going to happen on basically the west coast of Florida and eventually hit the east coast of Florida. Then we're going to be talking about some news going on in the world, not only locally, but maybe statewide and nationally here in the United States and a little bit around the world. So, uh, before we get involved with all that, welcome aboard. Thanks for coming to my show and listening, and please share my show with other people. We're starting to get the word around the world right now, outside the United States, which is great. Sometimes we have people out there outside the United States that listens into our stuff somehow. So I appreciate all those listeners over there, and I appreciate you listening. Before we get started, we make no claims medically, legally, or otherwise. You take everything we say with a grain of salt. Do your own research. You might come up with the same thing that we do. You might be even educated and profound on some of the stuff. Who knows? And like I say, we always put our opinions in our shows because what? Sometimes we come up with things that we've never heard of before or didn't see before or just newly discovered, just like you in a learning process of everything that's going on. So we're going to be learning things new maybe together, or some of you guys might know some of this stuff. I'm going to leave the comment area open for you guys to do comments. And if you got questions, you can do that in the comment area. We're going to post this in our Twitter feed so you guys can get an update. Or if there's certain parts of the show that you didn't catch or you didn't see the whole show, you can rewind it and play it again that way. So, welcome aboard and let's get into it. Now, we're going to be talking about the weather because remember that little saying that Trump says, "Hey, watch the water," right? Well, yeah, the storm's coming, and not only interdimensionally saying maybe politically or otherwise, but maybe also physically because yeah, it's happening in Florida right now, right? So here's the thing: everybody on your local TV news networks are gonna fearmonger you to death to go to the store to buy all these supplies of things that you probably already have in your house and you don't need. Okay. If you do need it, then yes, get to the store and get it. But if you don't do it and you do extra. You know what I'm saying? Common sense, people, common sense. Anyway, so as the storm's coming in, okay, what's happening with the storm, and you guys know me from over 2 years ago that I'm been very precise with my weather, more so than the local people. Um, the problem with this storm is the eye is kind of left behind. We have a whole bunch of this other stuff in front of it, which is your rain. And that's what's coming in right now today. And it's going to be coming in here in Florida today, dealing with everything like from, I'm going to say, Bradenton South will feel effects from this. Okay. Um, the major part of this rain squall will happen in the evening hours from like dinner time, like 2, 5 o'clock on through the early morning hours into Saturday about 2, 3 a.m. Okay. Here's the thing: there's no wind on this puppy. Okay. So you don't have to worry about your house blowing down. Okay. Or mobile home. Okay. There could be possibilities if you're around the coast, could have water spouts that could create maybe tornadoes and things. Okay. But as for me taking actual readings off of what everything I'm seeing here, I'm not seeing it. Okay. The highest wind gust I actually seen, which was in the overnight hours between 11 and 2 a.m., was maybe 25 miles an hour. Okay. 25, 30, 35 at the most. Okay. That's wind gust. Your basic wind is like around 10 to 25. Okay. So it just depends how far south you are. The more south you are in the storm, the higher of that part is. The more north you are, the less of it is. Okay. Now, here's the other part: the rain. Yes, we have to watch the rain because in certain areas of Florida, Western Florida, it's going to hit heavier in other areas. here's the thing. Anything north of Punta Gorda is going to have the least amount of effect so far on current, and this is at a, was it 9:40 a.m. reading here today, that the less effects will hit on rain from Punta Gorda on north, but you'll still have rain. Now, what they're looking at is flood potentials, not only coastal erosion on this, possibly, but flood issues in low-lying areas on the whole western coast. And as this moves over to the east coast, the same thing, okay? Now, this is moving in a diagonal northeast position, okay? You can get your perspective on that. And right now, I would actually, in the overnight hours from 8 p.m. on through like 3 to 5 a.m., I'm going to say about 3 a.m., from what I actually saw on the map, is flood potentials on flash flooding. If you live around canals or rivers or streams or creeks and things like that, that could possibly happen at that time period. Now, you have to look also at your tide charts to know when the tide's coming in. If you're on a saltwater canal or river or something that's salty or brock water, to know how much more flooding kind of situation will happen. If this comes in and it's a low tide situation, then it might be not so bad. Here's the other part. The rain of what's going to happen. Okay, you see all these red squalls here, okay? I mean, these puppies are packing. There's up to almost 6 inches worth of rain in some of these things. And as it comes in here at 11 a.m. from like Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and anything south all the way down to Marco Island, I mean, there's up to maybe 5 inches per hour kind of situation. So I don't know if you guys remember all those people that got flooded in Naples and Marco Island a few years back. Remember that? And it was really bad, and they lost their power, and they were out for almost like half the summer. This is the same thing. This is kind of like the same scenario. So if you're living like Cape Coral on south, you better have your head on a swivel and get your floating gear, okay? Because, and same thing with your gas and any emergency supplies dealing with flooding issues, okay? Because I see this as a big thing for you guys, almost a repeat of what it was from before, according to everything I've seen overnight wise and when it's hitting. And some people might be sleeping when this flash flooding might happen. I don't know. Maybe you need to stay up on this one. I don't know. That's on your perspective. But anyway, at 11 p.m., we're seeing anywhere, it's hitting Cape Coral. Let's see. Let's back this puppy up. So around 5, that's when a lot of this stuff is starting right now. Just to let you guys know, it's roughly about 10 in the morning, and all this stuff is coming in little by little. And as it comes in more and more, the increasing of rain chances are getting heavier. Okay. I'm just showing you the heaviest part. So from here on out that I'm talking, it's just increasing. Okay. At 5 p.m., this is right around dinner hour. I mean, this is even going to affect way up in Venice and areas, and all that, like South Sarasota area. You're looking at about 1/4 to 1/2 inch per hour kind of thing. Okay. And as you see, it's a straight line squall. Now, just to let you guys know, I don't know if you can see my pen or not, but right down here is the eye. That's how bad this storm is. Everything is up ahead of it. Okay. Everything. So the eye, there's no circulation. I mean, there's a circulation there, but there's no clouds. There's no wind gusts. There's nothing to deal with like a tornado or hurricane kind of thing. Okay. Everything is up in front of it. So it's definitely a tropical storm. I wouldn't even call it, anything more than that. Or just a low pressure system that has a lot of rain. Let's put it that way. But anyway, so yeah, Fort Myers could see coming in at 5 o'clock, around 1/2 inch per hour kind of thing. Anything north of that could see 1/4 to 1/2 inch per hour at 5 p.m. And then at 8 p.m., as this increases and comes more into a direction and heavier part of it, bringing in from you know, the Gulf of Mexico, then that's when it starts hitting heavy around 8 p.m. for people in Fort Myers. That's where you're going to see about an inch and a half of anything in Lee County on down through Naples and even Everglades City, which could see 3 inches at that time. Also, parts of Cape Coral into towards Mockley could see up to 3 inches per hour. And I'm going to progress this through on time periods so you can see what's happening. Now, there's no wind on this, guys, just a lot of water, a lot of rain. Okay. 11 p.m., that's where it gets a lot worse. So everything in Cape Coral, we're looking around 2 inches. We're seeing up to almost 4 inches in all of Fort Myers area and Mockley area. This is like on both sides of 75 on down through, let me see where this is, the tip of it is. Deep Lake, Miles City, that's the end of it part. Let me give you the core part. Let's see. Let me see if I can get you a core. Yeah, Mockley. Mockley could be totally underwater. That's where it's not good. That we're seeing about 5 inches in a Mockley. So Mockley's definitely going to need some help. And here's the other thing. Remember all those farmers out there? Guess what? Their crops are going to get flooded. Okay. So if you're a farmer out there, you better start doing drainage ditches. Okay. Somehow. And if you can, harvest what you can, I guess. I don't know what else to say there. Also, this extends into, let's see up here. Whoops, who's this? We got a special coming. I think that's, okay, yeah, that's part of Cape Coral. So Cape Coral could even see on the eastern side of Cape Coral up to 3 inches worth. Let me see who this is way up here. I think that's Cape Coral as well. Or could be Arcadia. Now remember, if you are in Fort Myers with all the big rivers, or Punta Gorda with a big river, Peace River, what's the other one in Fort Myers there? I can actually see where a lot of this rain could go into there, and even like Alva in that area, and the locks. Maybe they need to start releasing some of the locks now so that the pressure will be off the system, because here's the thing. Our Army Corps needs to open up these locks that are dealing from Fort Myers over to the East Coast right now on this one, because this such a heavy rainfall happening that it could abundant the actual river there in Lee County. Okay, that extends over into Lake Okeechobee and then over to the East Coast, because this has the exact line of direction of where it's heading. It's almost like it's following the Caloosahatchee River into Okeechobee and then over to the East Coast. It has that directional. Okay, so they definitely need to start releasing pressure on this. This is at 11 a.m. or 11 p.m. Sorry. And then parts of Charlotte County can reach about a half to 3/4 of an inch, even all the way up to Northport and south, all the way up to even Bradenton down through Port Charlotte area at 11 p.m. High end potential for maybe an inch of rain per hour kind of thing. Now here where it gets a little bit more dangerous. This is the overnight into Saturday at 2 a.m. Kind of breaks apart a little bit. It's like it's got two separate rain squalls. One is already hitting the East Coast by this time. Everything from the Keys all the way up to almost Orlando on the eastern seaboard is getting hit with some kind of rain. The heavier parts, definitely Miami. So anything from 11 p.m. through 2 a.m. Miami, you're going to get a lot of this 4 inches or whatever kind of thing, because that's where the red points are showing on the map here. Also, Cape Coral is still going to get hammered, and parts of Punta Gorda are still going to get hammered with inch per hour kind of situation. This goes all the way down to the Keys in that same way with all this. And then by 5 a.m., it still kind of lingers. It's not like, it's during the daytime and it just kind of pushes off. But at 5 a.m., it kind of still lingers the back end of the storm. At this time, you can see probably right where the eye is now. It's actually moved closer towards this. I did see where the actual eye makes landfall according to current stats. It was right around Marco Island. Okay. But not at 5 a.m. Right now, 5 a.m., you still have a lot of rain. A lot of rain. Cape Coral is going to get hammered. In fact, they're going to flood. I'll just put it that way. If they have any kind of locks on a lot of those canals or rivers or streams or whatever, they need to do some release of pressure tonight on them. Okay. Because otherwise, basically, it's just going to flood every street possible in Cape Coral. And also in Punta Gorda area too. I can see some stuff happening. All this goes all the way down. The red zones go all the way down to Naples and Marco Island. Again, like I said, from 11 a.m. to 5 a.m. or 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. on Saturday. I'm seeing heavy rains from Lee County all the way down to the Keys. Okay. And here's another thing. The Keys can get flooded just as heavy as Marco Island and Naples will get, and Cape Coral. It's just the way this system is. It's not organized. It's broken up. So you have these heavy squalls of rain on top of areas of those big, areas there of Cape Coral and Marco Island. In fact, let's see, at 5 a.m., let me see if I can get a pinpoint here. Here's some Leon Hamilton Place, 10 Mile Corner, all that is heavy. Let's see who this is here. I've got, let's see, what's my highest one? Here's 3 inches. Let me see who's going to get hit. Flamingo, 10 Mile Corner is going to get hit with 3 inches around 5 a.m. Let's see, Cape Coral, what their possibility is, 2 inches or so. Let me see. Yeah, Bonita Springs, Golden Gate, all that area, anything south of Cape Coral from 11 p.m. through 5 a.m. Saturday morning, basically with heavy squalls. And then, let me see, here's 2 inches here at 5 a.m. at Key Largo, Esmeralda, Plantation Key, all that, okay. And then also, too, at 5 a.m., it increases a lot of rainfall over in Miami area where they're going to see effects a little bit higher. Let me see here. We got 3.5 inches at Homestead, Florida, Florida City. Let's see. We have, let's see here. We got some high numbers. So everything like in between Bonita Springs to Miami could see about 3 to 4 inches of rain. Okay. Then it basically goes up on the East Coast. We've got areas like Mission Bay, Hampton at Boca Raton with about 2 to 3 inches. We have all the outer Keys, like A1A definitely could get flooded over there on the East Coast. So if you're traveling, stay away from anything of that area. And it looks like, what is it, I-95 over there? Anything west of I-95 also is very high in potential for flooding. If you stay between I-95 and I think it's A1A, it looks like it's the lighter part of the rain. Just giving you a heads up. This goes away all the way up to Port St. Lucie with about 1/2 inch of rain at 5 a.m. Now for the West Coast here, you might as well hang it up from anything from the Keys all the way up to Naples and Bonita Springs area, totally underwater. Then it goes, let's see, where's the lighter part here? Copeland, Lee Cypress, Okeechobee, all that is the lighter part, but then once you hit into Lee County, it starts increasing again, where it has anywhere from 1/2 to 2 inches per hour kind of thing when you hit all the way up to Cape Coral and then Punta Gorda. So if you're traveling, like let's say Burnt Store Road area that goes from Punta Gorda all the way over to Cape Coral could be underwater. And same thing, watch for 41 as well. So that's giving you a heads up that. That's at 5 a.m. on Saturday morning for those that have to work or travel. Then at 8 a.m. it starts clearing up. We still have some heavy squalls around 8 a.m. around Flamingo area. There's still heavy squalls in the Keys, and then definitely increases in Miami, where Miami could see a couple, maybe 2.5 inches at 8 a.m. And then also definitely A1A is definitely going to get saturated with a lot of rain all the way up to Port St. Lucie. And then even further, a little north of that, looks like A1A is going to have a hard time at 8 a.m. It's going to be about DOA, because there's about 3 inches per hour on some of these areas there. So, yeah. Otherwise, West Coast wise, 75 looks pretty good. There's certain heavy squall areas in southern Lee County that goes into Collier. So be careful on that. But it starts clearing up on the West Coast around 8 a.m. on Saturday a little bit, but there's still a lot of rain all day. And then 11, the East Coast gets hit with the leftovers, basically. At this time, Port St. Lucie on the outer bands here, it looks like could have as much as 2 to 3 inches worth of rain. Same thing with Miami, with about 1 inch to 2 inches worth. Okay, so it's not a blow storm, guys. It's not a windy gust thing that could maybe do some erosion. It could do some, maybe in some bad areas, but I'm seeing this basically a flood issue. So definitely flood alerts and warnings should be up on this, as well as if there's any people living around water, as well as if you live around a dam or a creek that has locks on it, or a river that has locks on it, they need to be released of pressure, because this is going to be a pressure storm for water, a water pressure storm. All right, let's keep looking here. So at 2, it looks like on the West Coast it's starting to dry out. East Coast is still pretty wet. And it's going to be remaining wet probably through the evening hours, it looks like, possibly. No, about, yeah, I'm going to say even 5 o'clock, Miami's still getting hit and all that area. Let's see here. I think by 8 a.m. Or 8 p.m., the West Coast will get cleared between 2 and 8 p.m., but then it starts up with showers again on the West Coast at 8 p.m. Okay. Now, for those who want to know where the eye went, let me give you a pinpoint here, roughly. So, yeah, around Marco and Golden Gate is where the eye is going to be coming into. Okay. And that will be around a little bit before 2 p.m. Okay, so that's giving you an update here of what's going to happen. Be careful on the roads. If you're flooding and you can't get through, don't go through flooded waters. If you can't get to work, let your employer know that you can't get through because you're underwater, you know. And if you don't have a boat, you can't row there, right? So how you going to get there? You know what I'm saying? Be careful, be safe on your own end so that you can get into the work the next day. You know, don't take your life in risks, you know. You could actually die into some of the stuff. I've seen people drive on a street and all of a sudden they're in a canal because they didn't see the street, you know, or they're in a ditch and they're underwater and they're drowning, you know. So be careful. All right, so that's your update on the weather. So that is as of 10 a.m. on 6/3/22. Now let's get into some real news. You guys still with me yet? Hopefully you are. Good deal. All right. Yeah, if you guys got questions, I'll get to it later in the comment area. Okay. All right. So here's some happenings in the world. And there's always happenings with the B-Man, right? And I guess Ford's adding over 6,000 jobs in 3 states. Well, is that where we're getting the stuff from the south border, or is that real numbers? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's up for you guys to check it out. By the way, my links are all posted in that rotating thing around the bottom of there that you're seeing, where I'm getting a lot of the information from. Any of my shows, I show proof of origin of where I'm getting anything I talk about in. So it is what it is, right? All right. Yes, and I've been vetted for those who don't believe me, but whatever. All right. Let's see. Just to let you guys know a little heads up on something too. I'm going to be going into a big investigation with the Green Deal and the climate crisis situation. We're going to go into it in an not only educational part, but an informant part of where we check out what it is all about and where's the funding coming from, kind of reversing the money trails and see if it's a bunch of hype, if it's the truth, if it's a lie, if it's been falsified in any kind of documents or records, or if there's any kind of weird monkey business going on with it that they're not telling us. Okay. Is it a scam? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to go into all that. We're going to educate everybody at one time, kind of thing. That's going to be in the future down the road. But I feel that it is a needed situation because there's so much government waste out there. I found it, and I know many other people on investigative reporting have found military, expenditures that were not right. I'll put it that way, and other things within a government where they misuse your tax dollars. So we're going to look at it in that perspective, the same way when they do green deals and other things, because people I know are awake, some are still sleeping, who knows, but you need to know what's happening with your tax dollars, and whether you guys know it or not, you can look into the Gray's Black Book, a law book, and check out whether you even have to pay taxes, right? Here's the thing. Whether you guys know it or not, a lot of people don't understand that this country is a corporation and we are workers and we pay our taxes, right? Well, here's the thing. We're under a double standard. Okay, there's two sets of books of the United States. For those who've been in business and knows business law and business things, okay, there's two sets of books. What they're showing you and you're showing on their local TV stations is like the face value book of information and budget. What they're not showing you is kind of like deep state and black budget and all that kind of stuff, right? Well, that's kind of connected to a lot of these different projects, programs, and stuff like climate control and climate change and crisis and all that stuff. So we have to look into all that because we got to find where that waste is happening and then whose back pocket is it going into. And then at that time, since we, the people, supposed to be like voting for these people and politicians to be in office, they're not doing their job because they're abusing their power and they're abusing our money. Right? So we're going to be going into that in the future to check all that out. I don't know when. You'll just have to stay connected to my Twitter page and I'll post things to work up to it, and I may post the program that way. If it's not my Twitter, it'll probably be under other conservative sites, so check that out. Depends on how sensitive everything is on the web. Now, you know that I'm stationed in Florida, and under Governor Sanchez's law, they cannot take me down for freedom of speech, right? But I've shown you guys since 2 years ago where sites have, and that's been documented, and that will be dealt with when the time comes. So they're all on a alert, and they're all on a well, I'll just leave it like it is, okay? But you feel me, right? All right. So anyway, let's get into this. So here's some news. We're not going to go into all the articles, but just give you an update. Because I know you guys don't like a lengthy thing. Biden meets with NATO's chief with the NSA Sullivan at the White House. So here's the thing. Has people looked into NATO and if you talk to the older generation, they're going to say, hey, yeah, it's a great thing. But lately, you understand corruption has gotten into everything, including what? NATO. Yeah. So you've got to kind of look into that and say, okay, well, do they have a double book system? Are they corrupt? Are they really true to the form or not? So here's the thing: you got to watch politicians and leaders of the world and people that are connected to NATO and kind of run their money trails reverse. Here's the thing: if everybody in the globe would reverse the money trails from the highest tipping point, which is, who up there, to then UN and the WOW and the WHO and whoever, then you'll see where the connections go in reverse as a domino effect for the money trail. Remember, we have politicians as lawyers. And what do lawyers do? They pop through what? Loopholes of the law. So as global citizens, we need to do the same, but in that respect. Remember, the more money they make, the more money trails there is. Okay, remember that law and rule. All right. So anyway, I guess the Biden meets with a NATO chief and NSA Sullivan at the White House. Now here's the thing. Are they trying to incorporate NATO with, NSA? Is this going to be like a global surveillance thing? You guys know where I'm feeling on that. Probably don't even need to even open up the article to already say, hey, yeah, it's connected, If you guys don't know what that is, you guys need to check it out, really. All right, now I guess Biden's addressing ongoing baby formula shortage. You guys heard about the latest news on that. I don't know if you have or not, but there's a lot of mobs going over to the south border right now, grabbing Mexican baby formula and bringing it back in the United States. And I don't mean one or two or three, but cases and pallets if they can. I think it's a great idea. If they can do it in Canada, do it the same way. You know what I'm saying? What's good for the corruption is just as good for the, regular person, right? If they can get away with basically murdering America with their corruption, then we as honest citizens can do the same thing, going over there and grabbing that. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing. We've got a leader that's really not a leader in my book. He's a Ponzi scheme in my book. This is just my opinion, but he and other people need to fess up and say, okay, yeah, I did that. Let me try to fix it. Admit his mistakes. You know what I'm saying? That's what a real man does, okay? And a leader, a good leader, okay? Anyway, so yes, there's this ongoing shortage. The reason why they closed down the plant before was because there was some kind of bacterial infection in the plant and they cleaned it out and all this, and that's why it stopped. And that's their excuse. But then there's other excuses like, okay, we shipped down pallets to the south border because why? We have over 1.5 million illegals coming across the border. Probably 1/8 of that is babies, and we have to feed them. So, of course, baby formula went down to the south border. Now, we also have shipments and pallets of it on planes over in Ukraine. Why? Because babies over there need it. I don't get it. Why does America have to supply everything? Why can't they say, hey, go get it from your other little countries over there and ship it to Ukraine? It'd be less expensive, right? And shipping charges, I would think, right? I mean, there's plenty of other little countries over there around Ukraine where they could do that. I don't know what your take is and think on that, but just no common sense here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Just no business sense, definitely. All right. So anyway, the White House, U.S. offensive cyber operations do not contradict Biden's policy of no direct engagement with Russia. Okay, so what does this mean? This is a double standard. Okay, we're going to do all these embargoes against Russia, but yeah, you can still talk to them on the internet. I don't know what that is. Seriously, come on, guys. I mean, really, I could run the White House better than he could. I mean, come on. Really? Yeah. Okay. LA law enforcement officers run for Congress as an attempt to unseat Adam Schefter. Well, that's a good idea. Anything to take some the garbage out with, right? I don't care where they come from. Let them be a dump truck driver. I don't care who they are. Let's put someone in there to, take Adam out. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing: why stop there? Let's go all the way up. Put a common folk there in the White House. You probably do a better job than what we're doing right now with the leader in there right now, right? I'm just saying, common sense wise, there. Oh yeah, my opinions sometimes get me in trouble. All right, that's just my opinion. Funerals. Let's see for that Texas thing of all this. Well, we know about that. Let's see. Oh, now they're going to try to pass a stand up act where they're going to address mental health in schools. So now they're going to go after your kids, not only for the pump in the arm, but now they're going to call them crazy and put them in, what do you call it, mental health clinics or hospitals or whatever. And then they're going to pump them in the arm, probably. I mean, come on, really? I mean, this is another issue. Why? Because okay, they're crazy because they took the COVID shot, and then all of a sudden, poop, they're pumping off a school somewhere. I mean, you have to kind of look outside the box on some of this stuff. Is this really what it is, guys? I mean, what if here now? You guys know on a past show that I did, it was on Twitch TV, but you guys know if you look at all the different points, look at something here. Let's just cover something real quick. If you look at all the different shootings that ever happened here in the nation recently within the past, 3 months, let's just say, there's one in the north, there's one in the south, there's one in the east, and there's one in the west, right? Remember, corruption is connected to what? A lot of these secret societies, and they have symbolisms. You can look at the symbols on all this stuff. Okay? So here's the thing. Check out all the different areas that were hit with schools or churches with shootings. Is that community a Democratic run community? And is the state run as Democratic? Because here's the thing. Corruption is connected to Democrats. So, and what did we say in past shows? They have grassroots organizations within the Democratic group, like BLM and other things. You guys can check it out. You know where to look. I've shown you in past shows where to look for that. But theorize a minute, okay? Look at the locations of all the shootings. Are they in a town or city or state that is a Democratic controlled area? If it is, that means the Democrats basically are trying to stir up the same situation they did, 2 years ago with the riots in the street and all that stuff. So they're going to do it this way. Why? Because they're trying to push their initiative forward, for one. Number two, they're trying to strip you of your constitutional gun rights. Okay? And three, they're trying to disturb and get your mind off something while they're trying to probably slide a bill through. Okay, got it? All right. These are things you always have to have your head on a swivel for. But the latest is that I'm hearing that they want to ban or they want to raise the age limit. That was one thing, I think it was. And then the other one was 9mm. They want to take away 9mm or something. Well, I'd rather see a 9mm than a semi-automatic. I don't know, maybe. But here's the thing, constitutionally wise, okay, you have the right to bear arms. And honestly, I think all teachers in schools need to go through a gun class and be able to carry in a school so that if something has a potential like that, you see what I'm saying? Then they can protect their kids. And I know what teachers are going to say. Oh, no. Well, if you want to live, I'd say yeah. Okay. Rather have protection and die than not have protection and die. Think about that. Okay. All right. Let's see here. All right. Well, they got a female here. Admiral Linda Fagan becomes the 27th Commandant of the U.S. Coast Guard. So they have a female in charge of the U.S. Coast Guard. Yay, team, right? Latest thing, there was 5 killed and 10 wounded in the Tulsa hospital shooting. So, see, they're going to affect anything publicly. You got hospitals, you've got supermarkets, you have malls, you have schools. You see their pattern yet? Same pattern. Remember, here's the thing. They need to find out where these guns came from. They probably came from a pawn shop, okay? If it was a kid under 21 or under, where's that money coming from? Right? Like the one in Texas. These guns were like $2,000 a piece or something. Okay. I'm just saying. Everybody should be able to carry, but at the same time, I think the age limit needs to be raised to maybe 30 years old. That way, anybody in college cannot carry a gun, and no one that is younger in high school can carry a gun. And yeah. And here's the thing. Here's what Biden's not getting. And this is just my opinion. Biden doesn't get that these games that these kids were raised on, the shooting up games that you play on your PlayStation or your Xbox or your computer where you're shooting at things, is training the minds of these people that are going in schools and shooting and doing their thing. He is completely wrong for taking away our gun rights and against the Constitution to do so. But at the same time, if he wants to make a big stink, trust me, this will go far more than taking away a gun. Gun is just like, candy slapping on the hand thing. But if you really want to get to them and really piss them off, take their games away. Ban any kind of games that deals with shooting games with a gun or otherwise. You know what I'm saying? From, the earliest stages to all the way up to adulthood. You take those kind of games away, they won't have the incentive. All right. Next one. Let's see here. Oh, you guys heard about Clinton's lawyer, right? Totally got off, right? Legal expert says we cannot discount Clinton's lawyer Sussman had a favorable jury. That's right. Did you guys check that out? Check out all the jurymen on that trial there with the Clinton's lawyer. You'll find out 3 of them were on his side, basically. Okay? At least. And how many more were bought off? Who knows? But you guys can go down that rabbit hole. All right, let's see. Biden's U.S. DA pushes transgender agenda or no school lunches. Oh, well, so here it is now, parents. Biden's threatening to take away your child's school lunches unless he can allow transgenders in school. How do you like that one? Is that pissing you off just as bad as the COVID thing? I don't know. What do you think? All right, let's see. What else here? New York Democrats want to tighten gun control laws instead of enforcing current laws. Do you see what I'm saying? This gun issue is Democratic motive. Okay? The Democrats are trying to take your guns away, basically, no matter what state you're in. All right, let's see what else I can give you. I guess there's a thing against Onan News and DirecTV where DirecTV is canceling Onan shows on their system, but at the same time too, um, they're really getting into DirecTV because there's a lot of discrimination going on in the same way as censorship that's happened on the web. So be aware of that. Also, Onan files a lawsuit against DirecTV, AT&T, and AT&T chairman William Kennard. So good. I'm sorry, but you know, everybody needs to jump on the bandwagon for censorship. I'm sorry. It is what it is. If the kettle's black, it's black. Let's see. Senator Mike Lee and Senator Ted Cruz raises grave concern about future of journalism and political discourse. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. Whether we're an independent like us or someone you're seeing on TV, we're reporting it to what the story is out there on and what the news article or information of it is. If you didn't do the crime or you didn't do the badness, it wouldn't be there, would it? But you know what? News makes money, especially when it's bad news. Because, like my grandma said, you know, uh, if there is no, or let's see, how did she say that? If no news is good news, I guess you'd say, or something like that. But you know what I'm saying. It's the same scenario. Okay. Anyway, so that's that. Okay, let's get into some other stuff here. Interesting stuff, maybe. Evidently, the NHTSA saying Tulsa is phantom breaking incident more doubling since February amidst ongoing investigation. Supposedly, it was reported that in the U.S. has received 758 complaints on the vehicles expected to breaking from the year 2021 to 2022 on the Model 3 and the Model Y vehicles. So evidently something's happening with the braking systems on those vehicles. Be aware of that, I guess. Kuwait summoning U.S. diplomat over Gay Pride Month tweet and saying concern about tweets supporting homosexuality. Well, here you go. This is Kuwait. What's Kuwait? That's Arabians, right? Hello. Don't be messing with them. You know how much they don't like it. They're the oil suppliers. Dumbass. Okay. Former Goldman Sachs PhD never returning to normal. Americans who are hoping to return to normal are going to be shocked when they see it happen. See what happens next in America. That's true. I told you about this over 2 years ago. All right. May payroll drops 13-month low but comes in hotter than expected. Wage growth eases a little bit. Well, you know what? It still goes to show you that many jobs have still millions of openings and they can't fill them. But here's the thing. I think the reason why they bring so many illegals over the border, they're trying to fill a lot of these positions, right? Well, they can't do a lot of these positions because here's the thing. Word up is that, a lot of churches are giving them IDs down there on the south border, which means they can get vehicles, housing, food supplies, etc., and jobs. Maybe even have the possibility of voting. So, you feel me on this one? What I'm saying and what I'm looking at, why it's not right? All right. And okay, here. As an invasion of the 100th day, Russia now holds 20% of Ukraine, and it says almost 125,000 square kilometers. So basically, when I looked at the map on that, that's everything in the north to the east part of Ukraine area. Okay. And it's an ongoing thing. And Mr. B-Man is blaming gas prices, food shortages, guns, you name it, baby formula, all on the war. He's calling it a war now, people. So we're in a war there with Ukraine. It's just he snuck it through these ways and not officially state that, hey, we're at war like they did in the old days. So, yeah. All right, let's see what else here. Below 150K jobs and everything soars. Let's see. Number of shocking lows says about our 4 standards of devastation away from the meaning, giving us print about 150K. May get a big rate for the markets. Start worrying about whether the economy can hold its poise amid the hiking cycle. So, yeah, that's another thing you guys got to keep an eye on. Is the Fed's going to increase another interest rate, or are they going to keep it where it's at, or are they going to lower it? If they up it, you know what that means. We're going to head towards a recession. Okay. The more they up it, the worse we get. I'll put it that way. Okay. Even Elon Musk is cutting back here, but he's got a big company anyway. He can reroute his help. Let's see here. Everybody's talking about the economy. Everything has to do with the economy. Looming economic storm. Stocks and bonds and payroll and companies and everything. Now here's an interesting move. In the time that we're in, that they're supposedly talking about a recession, Wells Fargo bumps junior banker to pay $110,000 a year. His last increase was a year ago in August in 2021, but evidently Wells Fargo can't take care of their customers right, because they want you to have a minimum in the bank when you open up an account, like $2,000 or $5,000. Well, this is why, because they got to pay a junior banker, $110,000 a year for his salary. What up? You know what I mean? So I suggest you guys don't bank at Wells Fargo any further and go to some other bank. That way he can't get his $110,000. Well, he probably still can, but after that, it'd probably be done. All right, let's see. There's a radical plan to halt the oil price rally. If it says here, if they together say this is the price we're going to pay, but not more, the seller, they have to abide by it. This is a special time and needs an action. Now, last I heard, Biden was supposed to do some, I think, oil releases in Texas or something like that. I was hearing today. Not sure on that, but I think he's maybe had one brain cell turn on and say, hey, okay, maybe, we need to do something about this. Maybe this will help the economy. So one brain cell turned on and says, okay, well, maybe we better pump a little oil and say, okay, I did it. But yet it won't rectify everything. You know what I'm saying? He admitted, yesterday, today, that, okay, yes, the economy is bad. Yes, our food prices are high. Yes, our gas prices are high. Yes, everything is high. Well, okay, maybe one brain cell turned on and says, okay, well, if they're that high, maybe we better do something. Okay, maybe we turn on, a couple oil wells and get them pumping again, right? I mean, seriously, here's my thing. If anybody out there is Republican, why aren't they calling the Republican congressman and saying, when aren't you going to impeach this stupid man? There's just no common sense. There's no business logic, just a bunch of corruption. I haven't found anything yet. Have you? If you have, put it in my comment area. I'd like to see the good jobs of anything of he did. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's something out there I didn't see. It's a possibility. I don't know. Oh, all right. And then let's see. Whoops. We already did that. Sorry. We'll go back to that. Just to give you an update. All right. Excuse me. It says 36% of Americans making $250,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck. How do you do that? What kind of crack are they on? This is where the 36% needs to be maybe taxed a little bit more. How can they live paycheck to paycheck? Because they overspent? Because they're buying too many yachts? Because they're buying too many houses? Because they're buying too much gold? Maybe. I don't know. But they're living paycheck to paycheck? What? No. Sorry, you got that one wrong. It's the middle class and the lower class that's living paycheck to paycheck, darling. I got to open that one up. I'm sorry. I'm curious. You know, that's just rubbing me the wrong way. I got to open that one. I got to see what's happening. If this is just a Josh or what. I mean, I never heard such thing. All right. So this was posted today. Whoops. Let's get that out of the way. Let's see. Okay, this is from Bloomberg. So it's a financial thing. All right. So it says another, let's see, making at least $250,000, placing them at the top 5% earners of the country. Okay. And all right, so here's the budget stress. So here you go, Mr. B. This is what your shutting off the gas pipeline did, and this is what your shortages did. Okay. But it says U.S. high earners who report a paycheck to paycheck thing. Okay, here's from 100 to 150 is this amount, right? And here's your top part down here, 250. Now, here's the thing. Millennials are in black. The blue ones are boomers, right? Here's what I'm looking at. The boomers are almost the same whether you make the 100 and 150 to the 250. Okay, here's the other thing. People that are making 100 and 150 to 250 is almost the same as the millennials of the 250K. Right? Interesting, right? Now it's the debt thing. So let's see. Okay, so what it is that they have more debt. The people that are making over 250,000 they have more debt. And or no, I don't know. This is not right. Okay, so the people are doing over 250,000. They have rarely use a credit card. This is very interesting. And the people that are average are using their credit card more. Okay, so here's something to think about. For those who have debt, I guess, you know, where you at on it, but then that shows me that the people that have $250,000 or more, they have more cash, but yet they're living paycheck to paycheck. What are they spending on? Drugs, alcohol, firearms, corruption, maybe. Yeah, I can see where that money goes into deep state situation. Do you follow me on this? I mean, you guys are seeing it for what it's worth right now. I mean, proof's right in front of you, right? In the meantime, 25% of Americans are delaying retirement because of inflation. Well, guess what, honey? It ain't going away, so you're going to have to keep delaying it until you die. Here's what Americans are changing to combat inflation. They're dining out less at 40%, 46%. They're shopping grocery stores less at 42%, and they're driving less at 37%, and they're canceling or spending less on vacations, which means they're not going to be going on vacations as frequently or often as they have. Also cutting all subscriptions. So if they're part of DTV or Comcast or cable or Dish Network TVs and stuff like that, they're canceling their subscriptions because of what? Inflation. So here's the thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 job categories that supply U.S. market with. Okay. We have different types of dining situations, delis, restaurants, whatevers. We have different types of grocery stores. See what I'm saying? We have changing their, ways. They're shopping differently. They're spending their money differently. They're not spending it, basically. So here's the thing. You don't spend any money, Americans. You have more in your pocket, right? But at the same time, that could be your job. So you still want to spend money to retain your job. I don't care if you're in an office, because if you're in an office, guess what? You've got to go to a grocery store to get something to eat, or a restaurant. Whether you buy and make your own food to bring to work or you go out to eat, you still have to eat. So you still need to go out, right? And you still need to what? Have your job. Okay? You might have to just go out to eat and not get the most expensive thing that you normally get all the time. Get something less expensive when you go out to eat. You know what I mean? If you're going to a grocery store, instead of buying the store name brands, you buy the store brands. Very simple to rectify. You can still do the same thing. You just got to do it in a different ratio of ways. You can still do it, guys. All right. I had to open that up because I was curious. I'm sorry. It is what it is, right? All right. Let's keep going. Hang on. There's more. By the way, drink some coffee while I'm in between my breaks here. I am. My voice gets a little dry and cracked sometimes. All right. Let's see here. Now, here is something interesting. Where military aid to Ukraine comes from. Here's the thing. Remember NATO? How, everybody don't want, Ukraine to become NATO. So what's the next best thing? United States. Just like all the illegals come to the United States. Why? Because everything is free. They don't have to pay for anything. That's the same attitude Ukraine has. I don't want to pay for anything. I don't want to become NATO. I expect U.S. to supply us. Right? Same attitude as the South border. Check this out. 25 point, or let's see. No, where are we at here? Almost $27 billion worth so far that we, on the surface of the books, have sent to Ukraine. This is not including the deep state 40 billion times 3 that we've already sent over there in various things: food, water, shelter, baby formula, military crap. Okay. And yet last week he was talking and trying to pass through Congress another 750 some billion dollars to send to Ukraine. I'm sorry, Mr. B, but where are you pulling this money out of your assets from? Because it ain't coming from my back pocket. You could supply it off your little drug run there with your son. You can get it that way. Or, I'm sorry, maybe you already did with the 40 billion times 3, according to the, what was it? Your son's laptop? Yeah, okay. Anyway, you feeling me on this? And look at all these other countries. United Kingdom, only 2.5 billion. Poland, 1.5. Germany, 1.5. Canada was almost a billion. Norway, 250 million. Let's see, all the little countries basically around it, Romania, Latvia, France, Italy, all them, is like around $250 million. I'm sorry, but it's not, if you match these all up, these match up to what? NATO. Look into that. See if these countries all match up to NATO. Something's fishy there, right? But at the same time, why should the United States be the number one, provider? Go get their crap from China since they're so corrupt. China's got more money than we do, amongst other things. Anyway, BBC changed victim statement so as we not to misgender her trans rapist report. Oh, now we got trans rapists? Okay, that's a new one. Never heard of that one. Oh, yeah. This is interesting. Tulsa shooter identified target doctor who operated on his back. The information we have current time that were legally purchased firearms, one purchased an hour and some change before the actual shooter took place. See, that's another thing. I'm red flagging that whole thing in Texas on that shooting situation. You guys still need to stay on contact on that because that whole thing is stinking of corruption. I'm serious. I mean, if you look at the timeline, if you look at the money trail, if you look at where the kid got the $4,000, $5,000 worth of money to get the firearms, okay, this is not adding up. Sorry, it's just smelling like the Democrats supplied the guns or supplied the money to give the guns and told them where to go to get the guns and all that kind of thing. Same scenario as like they had over there in Missouri and other areas in the past. Okay, smells the same way. But here's another thing you got to think about, right? You got all these illegals coming across the south border. How many of them brought in firearms in this country that no one knows about? How easy are them to launder the firearms is to what? Go to different gun shops or pawn shops and get rid of them. At the same time, besides that, they can money launder from the south border, right? From the cartel to the Democrats. We already know there's a connection there. And they can do it through that, right? So they can clean their money. I mean, just things, just simple formulas, people. Simple formulas. All right. That's just my opinion. Anyway, let's see. Europe bans on Russian energy will only trigger more inflation pains to the West. So, okay. So Europe is going to ban Russian energy. So what does that mean? That they're not going to import any of the Russian oil to like all the smaller countries in Europe, and then when we export oil from the smaller countries, that means they're going to have less of it and they can't get it to the United States. Good one there, guys. Good one. Definitely fell off the edge on that one, didn't you? I mean, you guys, you should know at my level, if you're at my level, where the common sense is lying on a lot of this stuff, right? Okay. All right, let's see what else here. We did that one. So, okay, let's go back to a weather update here on the weather on this tropical storm that's coming in. So, yes, we have some situations happening here. Let's see. Let's take 11 o'clock reading right now as the storm is, whoops, wrong day. Let's try the other day. Let's go backwards. Sorry about that. All right, that was Saturday. Let's go back to today is Friday, right, people? All right. Let's take a reading. So this is what's happening right now at 11, according to my military map for weather. Just giving you an update for those who need one, I guess, if it will happen. There we go. All right. So we got our first squall. It's going to start coming in. It's a good soaker I'm saying it would probably be around, let's see, Cape Coral and Punta Gorda area between 11 and 2, probably be about an inch worth of rain. Nothing severe yet. Okay. So the storm is heading in a northeast position, just letting you know. So it's that diagonal kind of way, okay, coming into Florida. So everybody should be feeling effects of some kind of drizzle happening right now in southwest Florida. As we progress, we might see a little less around 2, and then coming in at 5. Well, at 2 o'clock, we'll see probably Bonita Springs, Naples, and all that start getting saturated. Then this whole storm kind of shifts north at 5 p.m. Definitely hard hit into Cape Coral and Punta Gorda area, and Immokalee, Fort Myers, all that. And then north of that, you're going to probably see a 1/4 inch. Anything north of Port Charlotte kind of thing. Then as we go towards the evening hours, again, then that's when Venice, let's see, we're looking around a 1/2 inch or so on south to Punta Gorda. Punta Gorda increases, and Inglewood increases to like 1.5 inches at 8 p.m. Everything in Lee County is pretty much saturated, about 2 to 3 inches worth at 8 p.m. all the way through to Immokalee, basically following everything from Caloosahatchee River over to Lake Okeechobee, over to the locks on the east side of Florida, all the way over to Port St. Lucie and anything south of that. Then 11 p.m., that's when the brunt of a lot of this stuff coming in between 8 and 11. Everything in Bradenton, Sarasota, all the way down to, Bonita Springs, pretty much is going to get saturated. 11 p.m., let's see, here's your worries if you need to do it. Peace River definitely heads up on Punta Gorda and Charlotte Harbor, Punta Gorda, Arcadia, all that. From what I'm seeing on the river, up to 2 inches, 2.5 maybe. Yeah. And then north of there, if you're in Northport, about 1 inch. Venice, Sarasota, Bradenton, 3/4 to 1 inch per hour. And then let's see, we have Cape Coral. You better be, like I say, you better get your rain gear. Wow, I've got some big numbers. 5.5 inches in certain parts of Cape Coral. So if you got issues with your canals being down low, you won't have issues anymore. You have too much you won't know what to do with. Definitely Burnt Store Road could get washed out, right along with anything around coastal areas of that, Burnt Store, all the way down to Cape Coral. Let's see, what else here? If you're on a golf course over there, definitely flooding. Anything, any golf courses in Southwest Florida will be underwater. I can see it. Let's see here. Yeah, 11 o'clock's not good. Let's see, as this goes into Saturday morning at 2 a.m., it retains its thing from 11 to 2, 11, 12, 1, 2. So 4 hours straight of anywhere from 2 to 5.5 inches of rain from, what did I say, Venice on south to Marco Island, maybe. Let's see here. And everything from 2 to 5 a.m. continues for anyone in Punta Gorda to South Keys area. And it's not light. It's about anywhere, the least amount was between 2 and 5, 1 inch to as much as 5.5 inches, 2 to 5 p.m. And then at 8 a.m. it clears and gives us rest on the west side a little bit with still continuing rain, but drizzling. And then everything gets hammered on the East Coast. It looks like it's more heavier, getting heavier on this reading on the East Coast, from the Keys to Miami to Port St. Lucie. So here's the thing. If you're in a high rise, I'd get out on anything on the East Coast, especially in Miami area. I know how the ground gets saturated over in Miami, and you can have definitely structural situations happening. with solidification and all that. Because I did an investigation in the past on that one that fell in Miami. All right. And it continues from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. on the East Coast and through, it looks like it alleviates a little bit by 2 p.m. On Saturday for the East Coast. Otherwise, everything looks dry from 2 p.m. on through, let's see here, probably about 6 p.m. on the West Coast, but then at 6 p.m. it starts up with rain again. This is your normal seasonal stuff, though, that comes in on the West Coast around 6 p.m. on Saturday. So, yep, it is what it is. So it is what it is. Be careful, guys. I don't know if I'll be able to do another show or not by the time this comes in. But you got this. You can rewind my show on this part of the situation, and you can line it up with a ruler where it's coming in. You know what I'm saying? And if you're in any of those areas, I'd go by this map over anybody on the other stuff on the local news, because I've proven in the past I've been basically spot on to what I do. So, yeah, anyway, it is what it is. So I'll give you a current reading right now. This is my current reading. All right, so I'll give you a heads up. Be careful, be safe. This is Boho with the info. We're out, and watch for our next show. We'll post this in Twitter. If I have sensitive shows, they'll be in Twitch. See you soon.